Hello everybody, welcome back to an edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert training. I'm your host, Leandro Mada, and in this video what we're going to see is how we can communicate the Modicon M251 with a Modicon MC80, which is programmed in Control Expert. So, the configuration for the M241, M251, and M262 is going to be the same, okay? In my case, I'm going to use the M251, okay? So, let's go to the software. So this is Machine Expert, okay? So what we need to do is to configure the serial line, but in order to understand, as this is going to be the master, let's configure first the slave. So I have this project already open, which is for the Control Expert, in my case version 16.0, and I have this MC80, okay? So I have already configured the Ethernet report over here. Okay, had communication with this device. Now what we need to do is to configure the serial port. So on the MC80, the serial port is over here. Here you need to configure how it's going to behave. It's going to be the slave, and it won't need to be the number 5. Okay, here we just need to define the stop bit 1, RTU 8, and parity even. And then it's going to be RS45. So once we have configured this, is the settings that we need on the M251. Okay, so now I have this part already done for the serial part. I want to define some data in the MC80 so the PLC can read it. So here, going to create MW10. Yes, I'm going to be a word. Okay. MW11, MW12, MW and MW14. Here now I'm going to use for the 20. So I'm going to create like a register for reading and writing. As I showed you in the previous video, if you saw it as the M221, 23, and MW24. So I created these variable names, just the name. It doesn't have any location. So here in addresses, percentage MW10, percentage MW11, Control C, Control B, Control B, Control B, here 20, Control B, MW 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay. This way you create the registers for the other device to read from. Okay, so this part is already done. Then we just need to download this to the controller and see what happens. So here, just want to double check. You just need to check here the address, the maximum you can use. Okay, if I use NW400, then will be a problem because this one, it wasn't defined for that. Okay, so now I'm going to connect to the controller. It's in the standard mode. If you select this, it's going to be the simulated, but that's something I don't want to. So standard and connect. In order to connect, in my case, set address. I'm using the mode of TCP. If you use the Modbus TCP via USB, then here you just need to use sys, SYS. But in my case, it's going to be via Ethernet. So I'm going to communicate. Yeah. Okay, and here, download project. Yeah. It's not built. Okay. Let's just close all this. Just bear with me. Close all windows. Okay. going to disconnect from the device, build. Just wait for this to finish. Then I'm going to create a table. So connect now again, download, transfer. Yeah, it's going to transfer this to the controller. Okay, so the variables, animation table, and I create a table. So now this part from the device is already done. I'm going to the M251. So here on the serial line, we just need to configure this. It needs to match on the other side. So if we go back to Control Expert, select the Modbus serial port over here. This is slave number 5, 1 stop, 8 even. So this part seems to be pretty much the same because I already changed that before, okay, for the previous video. Then what you need to do is to add the IO scanner or the Modbus manager. If you use Modbus manager, then it means that you need to use the function blocks read and write bar. It probably take more time, but this one is going to be much easier. So we will go for the Modbus IO scanner. Basically, the IO scanner will help us to read information much easier. We just define where to read or where to write, and that's it. So I have created this IO scanner. Now we just need to define the device. Here in miscellaneous we have the generic Modbus slave. So here it's going to be my PLC MC80. Add device, close, generic, and the slave is going to be, the slave number is going to be number 5. Now what we need to do is to add the channel, which is going to be the information from where I want to read or write. So the channel name is going to be read, and here you have all different function code. Something important is that you need to check on the slave device which are the functions code available. So I usually separate the things, so I'm going to use holding register for reading. So it's going to be MC80 reading MW10 to MW14. Okay, it's going to be 5 elements starting for the number 10. Okay, and you have the comments. Now we're going to add another one for writing, so it's going to be channel underscore WR. I need to use this one, write multiple register. If you were using the IO scanner for Modbus TCP on the M2xx, you'll be able to see that we have less thing. It's okay. Here in Modbus here we have different Modbus code. MC80 writing MW20 to MW24. Offset is going to be number 20, and here it's going to be 5 elements. It creates everything, and if you go to the Modbus master IO, I should have all this, okay, which are the different registers. So this one's going to be, for example, MC80 underscore MW10. This one's going to be the MC80 underscore MW20. You can define this and use directly in the code, or you can create a GBL. In my case, I have already been using this. I'm going to use MC80. Yes. And inside, I already create this MW11 and MW21. So you can link this to those variables on the GBL. Application GBL. And if you pay attention, what will happen is that the IO address is no longer available. Okay. So you can use this in your code, but not this part. This is another way to doing it, and if you're doing it this way, it will separate the device from your code, which is good, or it's a way to doing it. Okay. So now, if we go to here, we can use LW apps equal to GBL underscore MC80 dot NW plus input assistant is in here, global IO number 10. Then I can write into the MC20 the content of the result is that I have done before. So if we connect to the controller, I should be able to read the device unless there is something wrong with the connection, but basically we just need 3 cables on the Modbus serial, then the pin number 4, the pin number 5, and the number 8. That would be enough. So let's connect to the M2.1 and hopefully everything will work in theory. Okay, so you can see it's in green. If it's in green, everything is fine. So here you can see I'm reading 0, which is fine, there is nothing. So this is the first time I'm going to check this out. So I don't know if the register NW10 that I have already specified over here is going to be the 10 that I want. So we need to be careful, and probably we need to add or subtract 1. That's something that I need to check together. So if we go over here, just go off this one, modifications, I'm going to make a modification here on this one, 10, and it's the right one. So everything is fine, guys. So I'm reading the right information, the right place without any issue at all. Okay, so you can see same position. Now if I want, I can write something here, 145, writing information, and the control expert should be able to see it. Fine, amazing. And if you go to the GBL, I have this information is fine, and if you go to the project, I can see this without any issue. Okay, now over here, I'm gonna try to modify this, and it's always 0, which is fine because the M258 is sending the information to the registers. Okay, so now what happens if I remove this controller? Okay, if I remove the serial cable. Okay, so I have the serial cable, this one yellow over here. Okay, this one. So if I remove it, we're gonna see this one that has an error. But if we want to do that to send an alarm or something, we can go to the device and go here to this structure. Okay, you should be able to see this. There's going to be an error. So if I remove the device, okay, I remove it. You should be able to see now I have the error, which is fine. There's an error. There's no communication at all. Now, if I go back here and pull the cable back, it has recovered. Okay, so this is the variable that you need to use in your code, okay, in order to see if there is an issue. Okay, so if how to access to that one, you can use PLC MC80 dot, and here you should be able to have here the error. Okay, and then you can use it to trigger something in your code in the PLC. Okay, so we have already checked that we need to match this information to the information in the control expert side. Okay, in this case I'm using the MC80. Here this information is to match. The wiring also using 4, 5, and 8 in the pinout. Here define the AI scanner. You can use the function blocks, but the AI scanner is much easier. Define the device, generic device, check the addresses, and then if you have an issue, you can access to this structure. Okay, so this is how you can configure the M2xx to communicate with the Modicon MC80 program in Control Expert. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.